Today, we're going to be ranking every Pokemon available in Regulation D. Regulation D will be the format that the World Championships is played on. And since this is the most important format of the year, I thought I'd give you guys my opinion on how good each of these Pokemon are. Then we can look back on it post-Worlds and see if I know what I'm talking about. Before we jump into it, I think it's very important we go over each of the tiers and basically explain to you guys what Pokemon I think will be, in each of the tiers. So for me, a meta-defining Pokemon is a Pokemon that is going to see a lot of usage, right? These are Pokemon who could have, anywhere between, 40 to 50% usage. These are the Pokemon that are going to be everywhere. Every other team's going to have one of these Pokemon. They're going to run the meta. Teams are going to be built around these Pokemon. Going to be built to counter these Pokemon. Like, these are going to be very, very centralizing. A very good Pokemon is someone that can basically be splashable, right? It's a Pokemon that's still really good. It doesn't necessarily define the meta, but it has a really, really good spot in the meta. It can be played on a lot of different teams, and it's just very consistent. A niche Pokemon is a Pokemon that can really only fit into maybe one or two teams, where it has to have a team really specifically built around it to be able to really get any viable use out of it. A bad Pokemon is a Pokemon where maybe it's just, if you really like the Pokemon, you can use it, but it's probably not going to really do anything. And then an unplayable Pokemon is literally something where I think if you bring this Pokemon, you're probably just, you're really hurting your chances of winning games. Now guys, before we jump into it, if you could, consider liking, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel grow, and that's what we want, Anyway, the first Pokemon we'll be ranking here is Charizard. Now, Charizard is an interesting Pokemon. Really, the only thing this Pokemon kind of does, in my opinion, is like, you probably pair it up with like maybe Tornadus and have it click the sun, and then you're like Scarf Heatwave with solar power. Not really a good Pokemon. I'm gonna say it's probably bad. I don't think it has any niche really. Like, look, you could use it if you wanted. I don't think it's gonna really do anything. Raichu, pretty much the same. I don't think there's enough, strong electric types in the meta right now. Again, it's a decent fake out mon. But yeah, Lightning Rod really doesn't get enough out of the meta as it is. Alolan Raichu is pretty much the same. This mon, it's like, yeah, its ability is cool in Surge Surfer, but, Pincurchin's the best electric terrain setter right now. It's not a good Pokemon. It's just, yeah, it's probably bad. Wigglytuff, probably unplayable. I don't think I need to explain that. Venomoth is the same. Dugtrio, yeah, I'm just going to keep putting them here. Yep. Persian's maybe bad. It has like fake out and stuff. It's all right. Alolan Persian, the first Pokemon we can actually talk about. This Pokemon probably sits somewhere between niche and very good. I think like with Fur Coat, Fake Out, Parting Shot, it's a dark type, it can't be taunted. Like, this mod's like not bad. I almost want to say it's not very good. I'm going to say it's niche. It has a role, but I don't think it's a Pokemon you're going to see an awful lot of. Golduck, this thing can play in the rain, but again, there's just way better water Pokemon right now. Why would I ever run Primate when I have Annihilate? Oh, Arcanine. Arcanine's really good. Obviously, it was the best Intimidate user we had prior to this meta. This update with Regulation D. It is still really good. I don't think it's that far behind Landorus, especially, with Terrestrialization being a thing. It's still really good. It has Howl. It has, ways to buff up its team. It can be very supportive with Will-O-Wisp and Snarl. It can put out a lot of damage with Flare Blitz. Has E-Speed, Terra Normal E-Speed with Choice Band. It's always really good. I think Arcanine is a very, very good Pokemon. Hisuian Arcanine. Now, this is an interesting mon. This one has actually had really good results so far. We've seen people running it with Intimidate and with Rockhead. I don't think it's as good as regular Arcanine. I kind of want to put it in niche, but I do think this Pokemon's actually pretty good. Having access to, Stab, Rock Slide, obviously it has Head Smash, it has Flare Blitz, it has E-Speed, I think the biggest issue this mon has compared to regular Arcanine is it can't tear it into normal and get rid of, a fighting weakness, right? A regular Arcanine's not weak to fighting, where Hisuian Arcanine is, so you don't really want to Terra Normal, especially in the face of, something like an Urshifu, right? Like, if you go Terra Normal, you're still just dying to a CC. So I still think this Pokemon's really good. It definitely has potential. It has a bit more offensive power, I think, than, regular Arcanine, especially with things like, Rock Slide, Head Smash, and whatnot. But yeah, I'm going to say it's very good. The Slowbros, they might have a niche, but I don't think they're getting any play at all. I'm just going to go bad. Same here. Like, these things can, like, they can kind of set Trick Room, I guess for this one, like, its ability plus the Quick Claw is like, okay, I don't think it's worth it. You're just bad. Muck's just bad. Alolan Muck's okay. I actually like this thing a bit. I think with AV, it's pretty cool. I did actually see something where, like, this mod actually, apparently with, like, Gunk Shot or Poison Jab, I forget what it was, next to a Qian Pao has the ability to actually one-shot a Flutter Mane, which is kind of cool, like the regular bulky one. So that's not too bad, but Look, I think it has a niche. It has a really cool typing. Its stats are pretty good. It's a great assault vest user. It can wall out Flutter Mane pretty well, but yeah, I'm going to say it's a niche. I don't think it'll see too much play, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see it, you know, once or twice. Cloyster, I mean, this thing can click Shell Smash. I still don't think it's good. Gengar, I mean, I want to say it's bad because like, I don't think Gengar's a bad Pokemon, but why would I ever run this over Flutter Mane? You're bad. You're bad. This one here, I've actually seen some people do something with it. Like, you know, Chloroblast is okay. It's a grass type. I've seen some people run it in Rain as well, because like obviously Rain helps out its, you know, fire weakness. And then you can also just throw out some pretty quick thunders. So it has a niche. I don't think it's good. You're bad. You're bad. Why would I ever run you over the other Tauroses? Why would I ever run you over the other Tauroses? I'll kind of rank these two together. I think they're both pretty niche. Look, I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see these Pokemon get played. Obviously, you know, I think their typings are really good. You know, water fighting is obviously Urshifu Rapid Strikes typing. And then fire fighting is just like, it's a good typing, right? It's probably slightly worse than Arcanine. Obviously, they both have stab close combat. They have Flare Blitz and Wave Crush respectively. You've got the Aqua Jet on the Aqua breed, and you got the Will-O-Wisp on the Blaze breed. So they're both pretty decent mods. They have good utility. I think their issue is they don't really have the stats to match up with, you know, some of the other Pokemon, right? Like their special defense stat isn't that great. Their speed stats like good, 100's nice, but like, again, with the power creep we have in the meta, they kind of just not as good as, you know, they probably need to be to see a lot of play. But I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we saw either one of these, you know, in at least a couple of teams. So Gyarados is another interesting one. This was obviously a Pokemon that was arguably the best Intimidator in Regulation C. But it will kind of fall off basically because we just got a couple new really cool water types, right? And mainly, look, Urshifu has kind of, I don't want to say it's invalidated this mon, because obviously this mon's really good at walling out Urshifu. But I think especially with Landorus T being a, you know, another Intimidator that's off the ground, it probably does force Gyarados to being a niche mon. Look, actually, you know, I think Gyarados is still really good, right? This mon, it still has a lot going for her. You can still run the, you know, the bulky support set. Like, this is a good taunt mon as well. Especially because, you know, I think some of the biggest issues you have in the meta right now is you have like the Thundies, the Tauns of the world that have got Prankster, taunt, where this mon doesn't have the Prankster taunt. So because of that, like, it can be nice because you can taunt things that, you know, are dark types, but yeah, even then, you got T-Wave, you got Waterfall, you can Power Flinch, you know, you're a pretty bulky mon. I think it's still pretty damn good. Yeah, look, Vaporeon, it's probably the best of these three evolutions. Like, its ability's cool. These two are probably just unplayable. Regular Articuno, boys. I'm a massive Articuno fan. It's nice to say this one's niche. It can be played on snow, boys. Yes, it can be played on snow. That defense boost does make this mon really, really bulky. Its only role really is on snow. If you're not playing it on snow, I think it's a bad Pokemon. Galarian Articuno, though, surprisingly enough, I think this one's actually very good. In my opinion right now, this is probably the second best Trick Room in Prison mod. I think this mod, also having competitive, is really good, especially with things like Landorus on the rise. You know, there are Pokemon out there clicking the Icy Wind. I do think with competitive, plus this mod's ability to play in both Trick Room and in Tailwind is really, really good. And I definitely would not be surprised to see this mod get a bit of play, especially for, you know, the hyper offensive teams that, you know, don't really want to deal with the opponent's Trick Room. I also think Zapdos is really good. This is a mon that loves Rocky Helmet. With Rocky Helmet plus Static, you can really deal some, you know, really disturb some of those very physically offensive teams that are running the Urshifus and whatnot. Galarian Zapdos. This mon is probably somewhere between bad and niche. I definitely think it has a role. Like, I've seen people playing it with, you know, the terrain setters running like the Seed plus Acrobatics, which is pretty cool. I've also seen people do stuff like Adrenaline Orb and stuff like that. So it has a niche. I don't necessarily think it's that good though, unfortunately. Cantonian Moltres. This is another really, really good mon. This is probably the best Flame Body mon right now. Heatrans are all running, you know, Flash Fire. So this is probably the best one. You can actually spec this as well, with a Citrus Berry to live 3 hits from an Urshifu, which is really cool. And look, chances are they're not even getting 3 hits off before you burn them anyway. So this is one of my favorite Pokemon for walling out some of those more physically offensive mons, just because you can build a lot of bulk into this thing, you know, slap a Citrus on it, you know, run a Terra that is beneficial, like Terra Water, Terra Grass, then, you know, you're able to eat some of these, you know, potential Ice Spinners coming out of the Qian Powers. You can eat the Surging Strikes, the Wicked Blows, all that stuff. Get some burns, and it can be really, really damn good. The Galarian version, though, is another very good mon. This mon, in my opinion, is incredibly good on these more bulky screen steams. Like, if you're able to get a Berserk boost up, heal it up, you know, throw out some fake outs, this mon can just do a lot. It's very one-dimensional in what it wants to do. And, you know, you can kind of use it as a Tailwind setter. You can maybe use it as like a bit of a faster, like, offensive mon, but this mon's probably running the same set every game. You're going to have Fiery Wrath on it. You're going to have, you know, Air Slash or whatever you want for that fly move. Then you're going to run Protect, and then you're running like Nasty Plot or Tailwind. It's pretty one-dimensional, but what it does really, really well. The original Pseudo Legend Dragonite. I'm going to say this mon here is meta-defining. Because of this mon's E-Speed pairing up with Qianpao, a lot of teams have to run certain mons. You know, you're talking about the, you know, the Armatails, the Serenas, sorry, the Frigraphs, the Serenas, you know, the Indeedis, basically anything that can stop priority from this mon is really, really damn good. This mon, if you do not have a way to stop it from clicking extreme speed repeatedly, it's just going to wipe your team. I've had games where it looks like I've won, and then, you know, 1v3, this thing just E-Speed beats me. It has two amazing abilities. Inner Focus is so good into the Intimidates. Even the fake outs right now, like in, you know, regulations 1 through, well, A through C, I guess, we didn't really have that many great fake out mons, you know, but now we have Rillaboom and whatnot, and yeah, this mon is really good. Multiscale is also fantastic. Just a great mon. Definitely one of the meta-defining Pokemon in my opinion. Typhlosion. Look, this mon's just bad, right? Like, I'm going to say it's unplayable because, in my opinion, why would I ever play this when I have this guy, right? And Hisuian Typhlosion, he's niche. He's basically an Eruption user. He hits a bit harder than regular Typhlosion. He's a little slower, but he has that Ghost typing, which is really, really damn good. The only thing this mon really hates is Sucker Punch, but a lot of the mons you want to pair this with anyway, a Pokemon that help you avoid Sucker Punches, you know, Redirection. Indeedee obviously stops it, and yeah, this one with the Choice Scarf and Eruption, it has a niche, you know, it can do a lot of damage, especially with, you know, how offensive the meta is. It can be pretty damn squishy. Unfortunately, Ampharos is unplayable. Arzu's a really interesting one because when I look at like anti-meta mons, I actually think like Arzu is like straight up one of the best anti-meta Pokemon we have. It has the same typing as Tapu Fini, which is basically like the best way to beat the Urshifus, right? With Water Fairy, you can wall out the fighting move, the water move, the dark move, right? You resist them all. It's really damn good. Unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily have the stats to back it up. But in saying that, it still does hit really hard. It has a really nice timing, and it definitely has a role. I would almost say it's really good, but I don't think it's going to get that much play. We might see some rain teams with it. You know, I still think it is really, really solid on rain. But yeah, for now, I'm going to say it's niche, but probably the best niche one we'll probably get. Sudowoodo is unplayable. Sadly, Jumpluff, as, you know, good as it was in Sun, it's probably bad. There's no point in running Jumpluff anymore when you could just run like Torn or Thundy. You're bad, you're bad, you're bad. I like you, so you're... Sorry, I said bad. They're all unplayable. I like you, so you're bad, but like, Umbreon always has a spot, right? With like Snarl and stuff and be kind of annoying. Murkrow is like niche. I still see people running Murkrow, and for me, it's like, why would you run this over like Thundy or Torn? Really, the only answer is you can't get taunted by them, like, because you're a dark type. You can run a Violet, be a little bit tankier, but really, that's about it. It's just a poor man's Thundy and Torn that can't get taunted. Or at least, sorry, it's not forced to run a Mental Herb, I should say. You guys, you're probably just unplayable. Bad Flutterbane, you're bad. Why would I play with you when I can have your Evolution? I know Japanese players were experimenting with this towards the end of Regulation C. I'm gonna say it's bad because like it still does have a decent typing. It has a decent ability. You can do it's just. I'm gonna say it's unplayable. I think the power creep's too high. That's Dunsparce, you're bad. Quillfish, you're bad. You with a Violet has a role, but you're still not good. Sizzle, I almost want to say Sizzle's niche. Yeah, I think Sizzle's niche. I think this one still has stuff it can do. Like Bullet Punch is good, Close Combat's good, you know, Iron Head, U-Turn, all that kind of stuff. It's decent. Heracross, I love you, but you're bad. Unfortunately, you're bad. You're bad. Like, they evolve. Just use their evolutions. Could you be good with a Violet? Probably not. Just use Ursaluna, boys. Poor Man Iron Bundle. You're bad. Again, use your Paradox forms. Stantler, I don't know if this thing can actually use a Violet. If it could use a Violet, maybe it's okay, but probably not. Blissey, same thing as Chansey. Probably just bad. Titar's actually, unfortunately, I think it's going to be like a niche mod. Like, I love Titar. Titar carried me at OCIC. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if it got played. I think its only issue is, like, if you look at all the weathers right now, it's by far the best Weathermon. It's a lot better than Pelipper. It's better than Torkoal. Maybe it's not better than Torkoal. It's pretty damn close to Torkoal. It's better than Abomasnow. Its issue is it doesn't have any partners. It has Lycanroc and it has Houndstone. That's it. If it had better, you know, mods to abuse sand, like we had Excadrill or something, then like, yeah, now we can start talking about this mod being a lot better. But for now, I think it's niche. It's still a really good mod on its own. It just doesn't have anything to pair with. Pelipper, this is really good. A lot of people were saying Pelipper fell off because, like, you know, Torn can just like set the rain for you. But there's a big difference between having to manually set the rain dance and then just like coming in and just clicking like a raw hurricane in the rain turn one. It's pretty damn good. I think, you know, it's pretty one-dimensional in what it does. It wants to set the tailwind. Sorry, it wants to set the rain. It has options like tailwind, has hurricane. A lot of the time, you don't even run a water move on this because you're pairing it with things like Basculin Legion and Urshifu. But, you know, you've always got Wide Guard too. Wide Guard's a pretty cool tech. But basically, you come in, you just click hurricane. You want to catch the Amoonguses and do your thing. Gardevoir, I mean, it has Trick Room and Prison. You can also, like, avoid your allies' attacks with Telepathy. It's probably just bad. I think there's better Trick Room and Prison mons. You're bad. Breloom, I love you. You're probably niche. It's still the fastest Spore mon, but it doesn't really do anything else. You're bad. You're bad. Hariyama. Hariyama's actually interesting. I almost want to say it's niche, but it's hard for me to justify using this thing over Iron Hands, honestly. Sableye has a niche. Sableye's kind of cool. There's a lot of things this mon can do. It has like Fake Out, it has Quash. It also has Skill Swap as well for things like Ursaluna, which is kind of funny. You can just Skill Swap it, and now it's like a burnt Ursaluna without Guts, which is kind of funny. Medicham, I mean, you have a spot, right? Like, you could always like Skill Swap Huge Power. You got Fake Out. You got a decent typing. I think it sets Trick Room. Yeah, probably just bad Pokemon. Bad Pokemon. Very good Pokemon. We kind of touched on it before. It's the best Sunsetter we have. It's also really good in Trick Room. You know, if you can like get this thing under Trick Room safely and then just start firing off like Terrifier eruptions in the sun, this mon can just like quickly, you know, sweep a game by itself. Unplayable. Jeez, there's a lot of unplayable mons here. I'm just gonna quickly speedrun these guys. Bang, bang, bang. Salamence now. This one pains me. I'm a massive Salamence fan. Salamence, for those who do not know, is one of my favorite Pokemon. Probably top 3 all time. Probably was number 1 before Roaring Moon, but now I'm kind of like torn. I'm just gonna say it's bad. It has a niche, but it's like, why would I play this over like some of the other ones? Staraptor, dude, I'm not putting Staraptor above Salamence. It's basically the same mon, but has Final Gambit. Unplayable. Pachi. Everyone knows what Sage and Park did. This mon's like decent, but again, why would I play this over like Mousehold or Amoonguss or Indeedee? Basically any other redirection mon, why would I use it? Floatzel is an interesting rain mon, but again, similar to Golduck is like, yeah, you can play this in rain, but why? There's just better options. The Gastrodon forms, I'm gonna say they're probably niche. You could almost argue really good just because like Urshifu's everywhere. Like, but the main thing is they just have a Storm Drain, right? Like they got a decent typing, you know, there's not that many grass types running around, but yeah, they're probably niche. They do a little bit, but they're nothing too crazy. Bad. You are... Now, this is something that's underexplored right now. I have not seen a single like Bronzong plus Tinglu core. I still think Tinglu right now is like the most criminally underused Pokemon in this current format. No one's playing Tinglu. No one, like, I literally do not see any Tinglus right now. Obviously, new Toy Syndrome and whatnot. Tinglu's still super damn good, man. That mon does so much. And I think Tinglu plus Bronzong is still a really, really good, damn good core. You're probably just bad. You have a niche. You can set Trick Room. You can't be Faked Out. You can't be Taunted, but yeah, that's about it. Chomp is like, again, he's kind of falling off, but like Chomp next to the genies is like pretty good. Obviously you got Rock Slide, EQ, you got Terror, you know, for defensive stuff. Unfortunately, Chien-Pao is everywhere, so you're kind of forced to Terror in front of it. Same with Fluttermane. Fluttermane just like scares you way too much. Lucario, another fan favorite, probably just a bad Pokemon, let's be honest. Hippo, why would I ever use Hippo when I could use Titar? Again, this one can be played in rain. It's not good. You're bad. Abomasnow, surprisingly enough, I think this is very good. I think Snow is... Like, the buff to Snow is actually so huge for this mon. Like, especially with things like Iron Bundle running around. Like, the Specs Iron Bundle next to this, if you have, like, Helping Hand is insane. I also played recently against an AV Abomasnow that was, like, really good. Like, AV Terra Water. It actually did a lot of damage. Pretty good mon. Weavile, again, probably just a bad mon. Like, you could use it, but I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't play Zone. Like, I'm so sad about Zone. Zone was, like, a mon that, like, I think it was, like, Regulation B. I was, like, using Zone. I thought it was like the meta pick. It was like super, super underrated, but it just doesn't have the speed stat really to be all that. You could play this on Sun, but why would you when you have Hisuian Lilligant? Again, you could play this in Snow, but why would you? Gallade, another Trick Room and Prison Mon, similar to Gardevoir. That's all it really does. Sharpness is cool, but I just don't think it has the stats, like the speed or the special... Sorry, I think it's special defensive fine, actually. It doesn't have the speed, HP, or defense, really. Frostlass, similar to Glaceon. You can play it in Snow, but I wouldn't recommend it. You're bad. These two mons here are niche. Obviously, their typings are insane. They have, you know, Levitate, which is great. They can both burn. They have really good stabs. Pretty damn good. The other forms, they're probably all just, like, bad. You could maybe make an argument for Rotom Mo, but again, like, why would I play any of these three when I could just play these two? Better typing, better stabs, Volt Switch is cool. Like, electric moves are cool right now, especially like if you start looking at all these flying types you have here, right? A lot of flying types, but again, why would I use any of these three when I could use them? The Lake Mons. Honestly, I don't think these two do anything, but Azelf has a niche. Azelf right now, I have seen a lot of people doing the boom set. There's a particular core right now that people are running. It's like Hisuian Zoroark with the Dozo core and Azelf, and basically you can just do like so many things with it. Like the mind games are insane. Like Zoroark could, you know, be disguised as the Dondozo or the Azelf, and then you put it next to like the other one, and it's like, oh crap, quickly fake it out before it explodes, and it's like you just faked out the Zoroark, or it's like crap, you gotta, you know, double into the Dondozo, and it turns out you just doubled into a Hisuian Zoroark, and the Azelf goes boom. It's the mind games this mon is being played with right now is kind of crazy. But outside of the boom set, I don't really know if it does that much. Heatran is a personal favorite of mine right now. Arguably the best fire type in the meta. Just a fantastic typing. Terra Grass is absurd on this. Terra Bug is also pretty damn good. You can run this thing with lefty subs. You've got Life Orb. You've got AV. Like this mon like hard walls the Flutterfish as well. I think this is a big reason why we have seen the fish actually drop off quite a bit. Although in saying that, I still do think the fish is really, really damn good. Cresselia. Now, for anyone who saw my first tier list, I did say this mon was going to be meta defining, and I still think it is a really good mon. Like, it's definitely, you know, worthy of being top of very good, but I do not necessarily think that the meta revolves around this mon, and because of that, I'm going to just say it's very good. The Samurott forms, I think this Samurott form is just unplayable. This one, on the other hand, though, it has a niche. Basically, having the ability to click a move like Ceaseless Edge, which is pretty damn strong coming off this thing, and set up the spikes is pretty cool. But that's it. I think it's cool. I don't think it's amazing. Normal Lilligant is decent, but why would I run this when I could run Hisuian Lilligant? Basically, they do the same thing, but this one's faster, has a better typing, and is physical. Basically, you run this thing in a Sunroom team. You pair it up with Torkoal, you get the After You Eruptions, you fire off things like, you know, Solar Blade, Close Combat, Sleep Powder. Decent mon, could definitely see some use. Why would I use you over your Evolve form? I love Crook, but Crook is bad. This one is, it's probably just unplayable. This one here, though, the Hisuian version, it's niche. We kind of touched on it with Azelf. This one has a role where its mind games are kind of crazy because you can disguise this as a Pokemon that your opponent wants to fake out, and basically bait fake outs, and it's useless. You know, if you, like, say, for example, you're leading this thing, like, on a Tornadus team, right? You disguise, this is the Tornadus. You can see the Tornadus. He's, you know, maybe Terra Steel with a Mental Herb, right? And it's like, well, I really want to fake out the Tornadus, but what if that's just the Zoroark hiding there, right? And it's... yeah, it's pretty annoying. Baby Goth, probably don't want Baby Goth. Big Goth always has a niche. This mon's just incredibly good. It has a great kit, you know, Trick Room, Heal Pulse, Fake Out. Its ability's busted. Shadow Tag's one of the best abilities in the game. You could almost argue this is like really good. I just don't think it'll get the play to be that high up. Sawsbuck, probably just gonna say unplayable. Amoonguss, everyone's favorite mushroom. This is joining the meta defining tier. This mon is just too damn good. It's the best support Pokemon in the game. You can sleep, you can Rage Powder, hold and puff. Fun fact, something I've been using a bit recently too is Leaf Storm actually one-shots Urshifu Rapid Strike, guys. They're not ready for it. You just hit them with that raw Leaf Storm and they're gone. It's fantastic. But yeah, this mon, it's so annoying to deal with. Amoonguss can just solo win you a game. It makes so many mind games where you don't know if they're going to protect one slot and Spore, and just, yeah, mon is super good. It is the best support we have in the game. You're bad. Haxorus, I love you. I'll say you can play it. You can play this in Hail. I don't recommend it. Bad. Why would I use you over your evolution? these two have a niche. They're bulky tailwind setters. Again, though, why would I use them as a tailwind setter when I have Tornadus? Hydreigon, I love you. You haven't been good since Series 1. You know, decent typing. It's a little too slow to be good. Volcarona, similar to Arzu, I think is actually a super niche pick right now. Sorry, not the super niche, super meta, you know, countering pick. As I said, I do think that Moltres is a better Flame Body user, but I do think that Volcarona is a mon that is a bit slept on right now. Its ability to redirect, plus, you know, hold a Rocky Helmet and, you know, Terra is like really good. You can, you know, Terra into like water or grass, allow yourself to, you know, eat Surging Strikes, Ice Spinners, all that good stuff. Pretty decent mon into the main core, which right now I think is the Urshi Power Knight. Also, a cool thing with this is you can actually spec it to be faster than max speed D Knight. Which means you can redirect the E-speeds as well, which is pretty cool. But normally if you redirect an E-speed, even if you are Terra Water, you're probably just getting killed by the double up anyway. But the chance to burn either of them is always really good. All right, so we have Tornai. Tornai is meta defining. This is without a doubt, the best tailwind setter in the game. It is arguably the best weather mon in the game. It has the ability to set all 4 weathers. It has a super good move in Bleakwind Storm. Basically, there is a 30% chance you will lower either of the opponent's speed stat, which is pretty damn cool. It has Taunt, has Icy Wind, it has so much utility. Really good mon. Without a doubt, one of the main catalysts to running a very hyper offensive team. Taunt T, why would I ever run Taunt T when I could run Taunt I? Thundy, I almost want to say this mon's meta defining, but I'm going to say it's really good. I think it probably ranks about here. This obviously isn't in order, like that's probably like comes down to like there. But yeah, Thundy is without a doubt one of the best Pokemon in the game. Its ability to not only be, you know, a good counterpart to Taunt, like you can outspeed a lot of the bulkier ones with Taunt. If they're running Mental Herb, you can threaten a one-shot with Thunderbolt. You have things like Eerie Impulse to really neuter opposing Flutter Mage. You have Scary Face to lower things at speed stat. It pairs up really well with Enamorus, which is a Pokemon we'll go over shortly. It has Thunder Wave as well. It can be just annoying. It has Swagger. Like, there's a lot of things this mon can do. You can pair this thing with like Swagger plus, you know, Mirror Herb on your ally, do a lot of damage. It's really damn good. Tornai has a niche. Volt Absorb's really cool. I just don't think there's enough electric Pokemon in the meta right now to really justify it, but it does hit really damn hard. Unfortunately, it just kind of lacks that flying move to really put it over the edge. All right, so Lando Eye is a personal favorite of mine right now. I'm really loving this mon. I think this mon paired up with these rain teams is insanely good. Like, its ability to run Sheer Force, Life Orb with Sandsear Storm is crazy. It does, again, similar to its, you know, counterparts, it wishes it had a flying type move, but you don't really need it. As long as your opponent isn't running like triple Genie or like Cresselia double Genie, this mon can put in a lot of work. It's super good into some of the more annoying Pokemon in the meta. The Heatrans, it's really good into the Goodras. That's like one of my favorite things for it as well, is the Goodras. It can really handle those pretty well. But yeah, a really good mon in my opinion. And then Lando T. Lando T, very similar to its counterpart. Definitely, probably like, arguably the best Pokemon I'm going to put in very good. I'm not going to say meta defining because I don't think it has the stranglehold over the meta like it once did, especially with a lot of the, you know, the more special mons coming into the meta. Things like Fluttermane can really mess it up because it doesn't really care that much about the Intimidate. But yeah, Lando Eye is just fantastic. This mon's really good with Choice Scarf. It's really good with Rocky Helmet. It's really good with AV. Probably is the best Intimidate mon we have right now. You know, it really loves Terra. Flying Terra Blast from this thing slaps so damn hard. Like, if you thought, you know, D-Knight hit really hard with the Flying Terra Blast, you have not seen Lando, who has, I think, 11 more attacks. So, yeah, pretty damn good. Has U-Turn, has great utility, has Rock Slide, Stomping Tantrum, Earthquake. Like, man, Lando T's the king. Expect to see this everywhere. Okay, Pyro, you're bad. You have a niche. Friend Guard Redirection is, like, always good. Dragalge, you're bad. This one, okay. Forgus actually has a role on Paradox teams, like boost energy mons. Like, for example, you can go like Symbiosis Choice Scarf next to a Booster Roaring Moon, give it like an attack boost, and then slap a Choice Scarf on it. Pretty damn cool. Delphox, you're bad. You probably have like something you can do. You're like, again, why would I run you over other water types? Bad. You have a niche on Trick Room. You're probably still good. Like, technically this is the fastest Tailwind setter we have. Obviously it's faster than the Genies. But obviously, you know, the second it loses Gale Wings, it is not faster. You're bad. You're probably just like Klefki's like decent. I don't think it's gonna see enough play. Like screens are good. I'm gonna say Klefki's here. Has a fantastic typing and screens are pretty damn good right now. I just don't think it's as good as Grimmsnarl. You have a niche on terrain. You're bad. You're bad. You, though. The second you give this mon a steel type, it becomes really damn good. Hisuian Gudra is probably the most annoying Pokemon to deal with right now. If you do not have Taunt, you have to pray you can break this mon, man. This mon behind screens is so incredibly bulky. The second it sets up an acid armor, it just becomes insane to take down. It loves Terra. It loves Shell Armor. It loves Sap Sipper as well. This mon just all around super annoying, but very, very good at what it does. Heavy Slam's great. Body press with you know, the defense boosting's great. You can even run a special set on this one, like 110 special attack on a wall is pretty damn good. But yeah, Hisuian Gudra is definitely one of the Pokemon you need to make sure you have an answer to, because if you don't have a way to deal with this mon, it will just literally beat you 1v4. So Carbink, you're bad. Sylveon, I definitely think Sylveon has potential. It's like a bulkier version of Fluttermane, but it's probably, is it worthy of being niche? I don't know. I look at the niche tier and I just don't think Sylveon's on that level, but I certainly wouldn't be surprised if this was like the best Pokemon out of this tier here. Pex, you're bad. Salazzle, you're bad. This one, it's like maybe niche. Like I could see a world where this like does something on Trick Room, but let's just say like Sylveon, it could arguably be the best of the bad tier. It's hard for me to say this is as good as like these other mons. If you look here, like these mons are like pretty damn good, where this is just like, yeah, it's not that great. Kamala's bad. You have a niche. Serena has a niche, but again, I don't think it's the premier priority stopper. You're bad. You definitely have a niche. I love Mimi. I think Mimi's a really, really good mon. It can be in Trick Room. It's great into the Fluttermanes. Its ability's great. Trick Room, it can burn. It can priority attack. Pretty decent mon. Bad. You're all unplayable. You two are unplayable, and you have a niche on sand. That's about it. It's the cool thing about this one is you can run this in sand and still outspeed some of the partners in Tailwind that, you know, Tornadus wants to play with. So that's its niche. I don't necessarily think it's going to be great, but it has a role. You're bad. You're probably unplayable. You, pains me to say, probably unplayable. I'm just going to say it's bad because, you know, people might try it. Similar to Serena, you have a niche, but it's like, why would I use you over some of the other options? You could be played in Trick Room, but I don't think you should be. You're bad. You have a niche in Rain, but again, why would you use this over something else? You're bad. Similar thing, you've got a niche in Rain. You have a really damn good typing, but you're probably just outpaced now. I feel like there's probably a little too much damage to Corv. Hate to say that's bad. Phalanx is bad. You're bad. You have a niche, but I don't think it's a good one. You're bad. I mean, this one, like, the thing is, this is, like, not a bad Pokemon, but why would I ever run you over this guy? And this guy here is really damn good. I think Indeedee right now, what it does best is it gets up the Psychic Terrain, neutering, you know, these physical attackers. But on top of that, you can run this thing incredibly bulky. I run mine like max HP, max defense, bulb with a Rocky Helmet. It is so damn good into the Power Knight Shifu combos. It's really good as well at slowing down opposing Trick Room. Like, this mon's a really good Trick Room and Prison mon. It's right there with Galarian Moltres is probably the best one. But yeah, I think Indeedee is definitely one of the best Pokemon right now. Has redirection. It can set up Trick Room. It can stop Trick Room. It can Helping Hand. It stops priority. Just, this one's so valuable. It has so much utility. It's fantastic. You're probably like, you're not, yeah, you're there. Same with you. Like, these two are like not bad, but it's like they're just not powerful enough, really. Frostmoth, I love you, you're bad. Rillaboom, you are one of the best Pokemon in the game. This mon's ability to basically, like, this mon is the best mon into these Indeedee cores. Like, if you're someone who plays Urshi Power Knight and Indeedee really picks up as a counter, slap a Rillaboom on the team, because then you can still click priority moves. You know, you just like, you swap out one Pokemon, then you start clicking E-Speed. You've got the Fake Out. You know, you force them to, like, have to save their Indeedee. Otherwise, they're just going to, like, lose their ability to stop your priority late game. It hits so damn hard. It's so bulky. Like, I think, like, non-Terra Specs Fluttermanes with, like, Dazzling Gleam don't even do 50% to this mon if you have AV on it. It's kind of wild. Really, really damn good mon. Obviously, it sucks that it doesn't have Grassy Glide, but Woodhammer still offers a one-shot on every Fluttermane available. Unless they Terra into a defensive type. But yeah, not many Fluttermanes are Terraing into a defensive type right now. These guys are like both, like, you could use them. I don't think they're good. Grimmsnarl, I think Screens is super underrated right now. I think Grimmsnarl is without a doubt one of the best Pokemon. This mon loves playing with Goodra on screens. And also, one thing I've been doing a lot with it is pairing it with a Scarf Lando and a Amoonguss. Their ability to just cycle around and like basically reduce all your damage, you know, between Parting Shot, Light Screen, U-turning with Intimidate, and then you swapping in the Shroom with Rocky Helmet. It does a lot. It's really, really annoying. And again, like things like Fake Out, you know, it has Swagger, it has Fake Tears, it has the screens. Like Grimstyle's really, really good. Also, it can't be taunted, which is again very, very important for a Prankster Mon. You're both just bad. You have a niche on Trick Room. I think Hat's actually like really good. I think Hat is going to be a staple on a lot of the Trick Room teams coming into it, because being like probably, I think it's the second slowest mon in Tailwind, sorry, in Trick Room, right out of like all the viable ones. I'm pretty sure it's like Torkoal and then it's Hat. But you know, Stab, Dazzle, and Gleam is great. It hits really damn hard. I think its base special attack is actually higher than Fluttermane's, which is kind of nutty. But yeah, really, really good mon. You're bad. You could probably be played, but you're not worth it. You're bad. I love you, Dragapult, but you're probably just niche. This is a really good mon next to Qianpao. It's the fastest. It's the second fastest mon in the meta now, unless you're considering the electrodes. But really quick, hits really hard. It is just a little fragile and kind of relies on defensive terrors. Sadly, we have two meta-defining mons. I'm gonna quickly split them up. I shouldn't say two meta-defining. I think Rapid Strike is meta-defining. I think Single Strike is really good. Rapid Strike, being able to go Terra Water and just throw out Surging Strikes is insane. This mon is super good with Choice Scarf, Focus Sash, Mystic Water, whatever it is, you name it. This mon's great. Even AV, I think AV Terra Grass is also really good. This is without a doubt one of the best Pokemon in the meta. It puts on so much pressure. And then Single Strike is still really good. Its biggest issue is it can't really Terra into its own stabs because of Fluttermane. Where, you know, the water one can Terra into water and it can live an attack from Fluttermane, where if you go Fighting or Dark, you're always just dying to Fluttermane, which is kind of sad, but you still put on so much pressure that when you're paired up with, you know, like a Qianpao, you still do a lot of damage. Banded Dark can also like one-shot Amoongus's, which is really cool. It definitely is a really, really good Pokemon. It's just not quite as good as its counterpart. Glastrier and Spectrier, I'll rank these two together because they're brothers. Both really, really good. I think Glastrier is underexplored right now. Same with Spectrier. I think these mons are both really good. Glastrier's ability to play in either Hail or Trick Room is insane. I've seen people run this with AV in the snow, and it's so hard to kill, man. Like, I remember hitting this thing with like a stab close combat from an Urshifu, and I think I did like 30% because of snow. It was actually freaking insane. But yeah, really good. Their abilities are insane. Once they get started, it's very hard to stop them, especially if Glastrier is in Trick Room or, you know, Spectre is in Tailwind. Spectre is another one where I think a lot of people sleep on this because like Fluttermane exists, but it doesn't have more utility than Fluttermane, but it has the ability to be like this Will-O-Wisp into Hexmon, which makes it kind of crazy. You can build it really bulky. You can go Willow and just, you know, you can even throw out Snarls and stuff if you want. Hex is really good. Shadow Ball is really good. Really, really good mon. I did use it pretty recently in a video. I think it did a lot of work. Bit underrated right now, but it's still very, very good. Regieleki. Oh, that's not Regieleki. This mon, it fell off pretty hard. Like, I almost want to say this isn't even niche. Sorry, it's not even very good. I want to say it's niche. I think that's a bit disrespectful. I'll put it here in very good. I think people maybe just haven't explored it enough, but it just doesn't feel great right now. Like, it's crazy to say that because last time I made one of these lists, I said it was going to be like meta defining, one of the top ones in the meta. Everyone was saying like Terra's going to be so damn good on it, but it's like, it's really not. Like, you're Terraing a mon that's just going to get one shot. It's like, oh yeah, you know, you Terra Ice took out the Lando, but the mon next to the Lando took you out. And it's like, well, shit, we traded 1 for 1 and I lost my Terra and now they've got the advantage. But yeah, look, it still hits really damn hard. It definitely doesn't like the nerf to Transistor. It's still the fastest mon in the game. Like, it has a role. It can still throw out Electro Webs, Volt Twitches, you know, Terra Ice, Terra Blast, Thunderbolt, even Thunder and Rain. Like, it's still like a good mon. It's just not the mon I think we all thought it was going to be. Regidrago, I almost want to say very good. I'm going to go with niche. If you can get this mon in a position where it can just start clicking Dragon Energies, it will sweep a game for you. Its biggest issue is Terra Steel's really good right now. You need to have a way to stop priority, you know, like E-Speed. If you can't stop the E-Speed, you're not getting your Dragon Energies off. A cool thing, though, about this mon, though, is even if you do, like, take a big chunk of damage, like, after, like, basically, like, you Dragon Energy, get chipped, then you still have this, like, really powerful Draco Meteor you can drop, which is pretty damn cool. It does a lot of damage, just needs a lot of support, and the team probably has to be built around it to be good. You have a niche, although I don't think you're going to be that good. It's Intimidate Mod with Trick Room. It's like okay, but again, I don't think it's going to see a lot of play. Cleaver's like probably a little bit better than Hisuian Samurott. It can set up the... Do I want to... I'm going to say, yeah, definitely going to say it's niche. Where's Hisuian Samurott? Is that here? Or did I drop it? Is Hisuian Samurott down one? No, I think this... Yeah, there he is. Okay. I was like, my mouse was on it. I think it's a bit better than Hisuian Samurott. Having a rock stab is like really nice. Stealth rocks is better than spikes. A lot, especially like, you know, again, you look up here, you got weak to stealth rock, weak to stealth rock. Not weak to stealth rock, but like good chip, good chip, good chip, weak to stealth rock, good chip. Like none of these mons like really want to eat a stealth rock. Like this is like your only resist to stealth rock here, right? Actually, Shifu, both the Shifus resist stealth rock. You resist stealth rock, and like that's it. Like you're taking 25%, you're taking 25%, you're taking 25%, you're taking 25%, 50%, 25%, 25%. Like stealth rocks is pretty damn good. It's just the mon is like kind of niche, but I do think it has a really good role on the Urshi Power Knight teams. Like if you lead this mon, you get up rocks, and then the other 3 mons in your team kind of just sweep through from there. Sneasler is another probably like, I'm going to say it's really good. Its signature move's broken. It's pretty easy to get its unburden up. You know, it can be run with terrains. It can be run with swaggers. This one, it also like normal gem fake out as well as like another thing. I know people were running it on Indeedee teams. Like you get the psychic seed, and then you just like follow me, set up a sword stance, and then sweep through from there. Really good. Very nice stab typing as well. It's really good with Terraflying Acrobatics. Pretty damn good mon. Enamorous. I'm going to say this is like definitely up here with the other ones. Actually, no, that's a lie. It's not as good as the other ones. Actually, I'm going to say it's niche. I'm going to say it's niche. I know I just went from it's really good to niche. This mon's basically has to be paired with Thunderous. If it's not paired with Thunderous, it's just like average. It's probably like the bottom of niche without Thunderous, like top of niche with it. If you can like side Eerie Pulse, side Scary Face, this mon becomes very, very hard to deal with. You can Defensive Terror. It also has like Superpower. You can pair it with Grimmsnarl and get defense boost with like, you know, with Fake Tears, which is pretty nice. So this mon can do stuff, but it does really rely on its team to make it good. The other version, like this mon is like, everyone was like talking about how good this thing would be on a Trick Room. It really hasn't done that much yet, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing it rise up. Because like a big thing you got to keep in mind right now is a lot of the top players are still, you know, focusing on NAIC. So once we start getting, you know, like all these people from NAIC focusing on Regulation D, then I think we'll definitely see the meta develop a bit more. And I definitely think, you know, Enamorous here could definitely rise up, especially if people start figuring out how good Trick Room is. Not to mention its ability just doesn't care about Amoonguss. Like, again, if this thing had a flying stab, I think it would be like very good. Just because the ability to like hardwall at Amoonguss is like so damn good. Like very few mons can just hardwall it. Overquill, look, you can be played on Rain, but you shouldn't. Baskia Legion Male. I almost want to say this thing's very good. It's probably top of niche. In Rain, it's insane. Even outside of Rain with adaptability, it's really damn good. Last Respects is a broken move. Yeah, really good. Its biggest issue is you kind of force to terror it because of Sucker Punch. The female version, you could run it, but it's like, why? Just run the male version. Ursaluna, everyone said this one's going to be meta defining. I think it's just very good. This is similar to Regieleki. It's not as good as I think people thought it was going to be, but it is still a really solid mon. Again, it's a mon where like everyone loved it, and then people were like, damn, this mon sucked. But I think when the meta starts to develop more, we're definitely going to see Ursaluna rise up. And I would not be surprised if Ursaluna won Worlds. I think this mon inherently is broken. The issue is people are trying to slap it on Trick Room, and I don't think this mon, like, obviously it's insane in Trick Room, but this, I think, is going to be a mon that doesn't need the Guts boost, right? Like, you can still run Guts on it, don't get me wrong, but, you know, you could slap this thing on a, you know, a Trick Room, a Tailwind team with AV, and not run it super, super quick, but run it quick enough just to outspeed a couple things, and then just start dealing massive damage. Like, Headlong Rush from this mon is still, like, stronger than what Great Tusk did. Like, people forget that. Like, people are like, no, you have to click Protect and get the burn. It's like, no, this Headlong Rush is going to... If you don't resist Headlong Rush from this mon, you don't want to eat the Headlong Rush. I'm telling you guys that right now. Miask Rider, I love you, but you're probably just bad. Same with you, you're bad. You're unplayable. You're... The Dunsparce? I'm going to say unplayable. I should make a new tier for Spidops. It is unplayable. Unplayable. This one pains me. I love low kicks, but he's unplayable. Unplayable. You can run it on sand, but it's bad. I love you, but this isn't singles. You have a niche, a really good Trick Room and Prison one that also stops priority. That's basically about it. You're also probably the worst Pokemon in the game. Dondozo, like Dozo, I think Dozo is still really good. I just don't think it's going to get much play. We'll pair that up with its buddy. Where's Tatsu yet? You two are like almost going to be exclusively played together. I could see a world where people play Dozo back with Tinglu. And I also see a world where Tatsugiri is played as like a Storm Drain mon. They're still really good together. They kind of, I think, you know, as I said earlier, they do thrive on these like Hisui and Zoroark teams where you can like play around with these 3 mons here. Because again, like with Disguise, this core of 4 becomes incredibly hard to deal with. You're bad. You are the most underrated Pokemon right now. I still think this mon is one of the top Pokemon in the game, especially on these slower cores. You know, if you pair this up with these Hisui and Gudra teams, which is what I've been doing with it recently, this one becomes really hard to deal with, because if you have a Hisui and Gudra next to a, why am I blanking? Palafin? Like, you do not want to have to look at these 2 mons together, especially if they're behind screens. Like, it's like, oh shit, well, do I stop it from clicking Acid Armor and eat a Wave Crash? Or do like I try to stop the Wave Crash and then he sets up an Acid Armor and then like this guy sweeps you? But yeah, still without a doubt one of the best Pokemon in the game. Again, it loves Landorus, it loves Amoonguss, it loves, you know, these Pokemon that love to pivot, you know, the Grimmsnarls with parting shots. It loves it. It's really good. Another Pokemon too it loves is one we'll get to soon, but that's Iron Hands. Just anything that can pivot around and make it strong. Even Rillaboom as well. It loves like Fake Out plus U-turn. I'm a believer in Arboliba, but I don't think it's good. You're bad. You could be played on some, but you're bad. You're bad. You're bad. You have a niche, but you're not gonna get picked enough. It's cool with Landorus, and some of the other ones. Mousehold, you're still really good. I think Mousehold's a niche Pokemon. Obviously, Redirection Friend Guard, we kind of touched on it earlier, is really good. Population Bomb also right now is kind of insane. Like, you can just like one-shot a lot of these ones here. Like this guy gets one shot. This guy's probably got Rocky Helmet, so you're killing yourself. This guy can get one shot. This guy probably doesn't get one shot, but it'd be pretty damn close. If you paired it up with Qianbao, this guy gets one shot. Also, Terra Ghost, and it's like insane. I love you. You're bad to Titan. I'm sorry. Baxcalibur, you have a niche. I think you're underexplored right now, but Baxcalibur is always good. It always finds its way back into the meta. Just a really good mon. Cyclizar, you have Shed Tail. That's about it. You have Fake Out and your signature move, but that's probably still bad. You can set Tailwind, but why would I use you as a Tailwinder? Bad, 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 bad. I think this mon's niche. I think Pokemon like this are going to be really damn good on bulky teams with like Wo-Chan, Tinglu, stuff like that. But yeah, Garganacle's still really good. Again, if you like look at a lot of these mons here, they do not want to eat a Covered Cloak. They don't want to eat a what's it called? The special move. What is it? Salt Cure. Especially too, because like Tauns and Thundies were running Covered Cloak, but now everyone's running Mental Herb for the mirror matchup. So yeah, you kind of don't want to deal with that mon. This is another mon that I think is niche. Glamora, in my opinion, is like always the perfect anti-meta mon. Its typing so good. It eats attacks from Fluttermane. It eats attacks from the fish. And again, you look at a lot of these mons, like he doesn't want to eat a Terra Grass Energy Ball. You don't want to eat a freaking a Power Gem. You don't want to eat a Power Gem. It always wants the Terra Grass anyway, so like you can't spore it. Yeah, Glamora, a really, really good anti-meta mon that I definitely think we'll see some play. It's good with Specs, Focus Sash, AV, Berry as well. The mon does a lot. Grafai, I love you. You can be paired up with like some of the mons that like to get their Unburden boost and whatnot. You know, swaggering and stuff like that, but you're probably not good. Dash Bun, you might be able to play next to Heatran. You're bad. You have a niche, but not enough to be put in the niche tier. Really good into the Genies because you can eat their signature moves. That's about it though. Golden Joe. Golden Joe's still really good. This mon is just... It's consistent. Golden Joe always finds its way into the meta. It's good into Fluttermane. Not many Pokemon want to eat Make It Rain. Just a really, really good mon. We'll get near the end. Great Tusk is the biggest fall off in this meta, in my opinion. I think it's a bad Pokemon. All the Genies, you know, all these Pokemon that don't care about Earthquake, you know, some of these don't care about the Rock Slides. It's, yeah. This mon is just completely outclassed right now and is the biggest fall off, in my opinion, in Regulation D. You're another bad Pokemon, unfortunately. I think I would have liked to have thought this Pokemon had a niche, but I just don't think it does. You're not available, so I'm going to put you back here. Sandy Shocks, I love you, but again, you're probably just bad. It's hard to justify Sandy Shocks right now. Like, it does damage, but its speed tier is not great. Its special attacks, like, nothing insane. Earth Power being your best, you know, ground move is like, well, it's like a good move. It's nothing insane, right? It's not like, you know, a Flare Blitz or anything like that. Screamtail, you have a niche. I still think you're one of the most annoying Pokemon in the game. Disable, Encore. You know, it has the options of like Play Rough, Dazzling Gleam, that kind of stuff. Pretty annoying. Fluttermane, you are the best Pokemon in the game. Without a doubt, Fluttermane is the most meta-defining Pokemon in my opinion. This mon is too damn good at everything it does. It hits so damn hard, it's so fast. You can build this thing bulky enough to live a lot of attacks. But yeah, Fluttermane, best Pokemon in the game. You're like almost unplayable. I'm gonna say you're bad though, because I like you. Roaring Mid, my favorite Pokemon. This thing's niche. I think it's a bit slept on right now. I do think, especially if you pair this with like Tailwind plus the ability to maybe set up the sun or something like that. Like, I think it's really good with Torn. It loves Indeedee as well, because that allows you to get up DDs pretty safely. Yeah, really good mon. Hits really damn hard. It basically is Force like Terra almost always, though, which is its biggest issue. Treads, you're bad. Like, I'm sorry, you're just bad. Iron Leaves, another Pokemon that is not usable. What am I doing? Can't be used. I do think Iron Moth is underrated right now. I think this is a mon that could actually be pretty good. I'm just worried people won't explore it. But this, in my opinion, is probably a niche mon, but it probably won't get the play for it. Iron Hands, this is a mon, again, I think underplayed, but Iron Hands is really good. Probably the best electric Pokemon in the format. Volt Switch, Fake Out, Drain Punch. It's just so good anti-meta. It can eat attacks from the Power Knight, get return kills. Super good under Trick Room. It is like, in my opinion, if you're running Trick Room, you need to have Iron Hands. It's the best Fake Out mon on Iron Hands. Sorry, the best Fake Out mon on Trick Room. You pair it with, you know, the Armor Ridges, the hats. You know, obviously you're not leading it with your Indeedee, but yeah, it's pretty damn good. If it gets up an SD, it's just GG. Really good mon. Iron Jugulus, I love this mon, but it's bad. I don't think, like, its niche in the past was Tailwind. It doesn't have that anymore. You're unplayable. I'm sorry. Iron Bundle, another super slept on mon. I think this is really good. I think, again, this is a mon right now that is suffering from new toy syndrome. Everyone's forgetting Iron Bundles is that guy. Like, again, you look at the meta, right? You outspeed, you know, Fluttermane to pick it off, break potential sashes. You could one-shot this guy if he doesn't Terra. You can one-shot this guy almost always because he's always terroring into water or grass, basically. You're really good into Amoonguss. You know, you can threaten with Encore. You can obviously freeze dry it. Freeze dry is going to mess this up. Like, a lot of these mons here, like, you don't want to eat a freeze dry. You don't want to eat a pump. You don't want to eat a Encore. You don't want to eat a freeze dry. 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 You also don't want to eat an Encore. Like, a lot of these mons here, again, you start looking here, like, pump beats this, freeze dry, pump, freeze dry, pump, maybe not pump this, but you guys get the gist of it, yeah? Like, I think Iron Bundle is super good into, like, the meta. This monster is always going to be good. It's slept on. I think it's going to rise up. This could honestly almost be a meta-defining one again. I think a lot of people thought this would be bad because of Alecki. It's like, oh, you have a faster electric mon that just straight up beats it one-on-one. But, like, realistically, it just doesn't. Like, this mon kind of needs Covet Cloak to beat this or Scarf. And it's like, I think if you're not Sash, you're throwing. But if you're Sash, you're also just losing to this because he's going to Icy Wind you, then his teammate's going to just pick you up. Iron Valiant, this one actually did just win an online tour, which is kind of cool, but probably still just unplayable. Ting Lu, a mon that is, again, new toy syndrome. Everyone's treating it the same as Iron Bundle. No one's playing this mon. I think this mon is, again, look, it's probably not meta defining because, again, you look at all these Pokemon here. There's a lot of Pokemon off the ground. There's Intimidates and whatnot, but Ting Lu is still an absolute beast. It can eat so many attacks and just deal out a lot of damage. Not to mention it really slows down, obviously, Flutterfish and stuff like that. Chen Pao is, right now, in my opinion, the second best mon in the game. The Adamant Chen Pao set, if you guys haven't tried it, go try it. Adamant Chen Pao one-shots the bulky Fluttermanes. It's pretty good. Again, you look at these two here, who are both meta-defining. Super good paired with it. See these two here? Also really good with this. See this mon here? Really good with it. Also really good with this mon, because obviously it gives it the fake out support, plus it just pumps out a lot of physical damage. But yeah, just without a doubt, its ability is broken. Its attack stat is insane. Its speed stat's insane. Its moves are great. Like, having a sucker punch on a mon that hits this damn hard is super good. Really fantastic. Big Wo Chen, probably just niche, you know. I know Moxie loves this. I saw him testing it the other day. It has a role. Like, again, I think these two here paired up with, like, Ting Lu on Stole could be good, especially, like, if you pair it with Cresselia, but probably just, you know, it's just niche, probably at best. My guy, the Big Fish, you know, we said Heatran did kind of, like, force this mon to fall off, but this mon's still really good. I think in Sun, if your opponent doesn't have Heatran, you just, like, win. If you play this with, like, Torn in Sun, you can just pump out damage. Like, Heat Waves in the Sun with Tailwind are fantastic. You can also run this thing with Nasty Plot, Bulky. It's just a really good mon, really solid. Probably is the second best fire type in the meta right now. Could probably take its spot back at number 1 if Heatran play does fall off just a little bit. We're almost at the end. You're not available. You're not available. Big Tink. Tink has a role because it can fake out the what's it called? It can fake out D-Knights while also resisting any attack from Qian Pao. But again, if you're running Tink, it's like you probably should just build a different team. But again, it has a spot. It can drop the big Gigaton hammers. It's all right. Big Armor Rouge, probably just niche. I actually think Psy Spam just got better. Because like if you think about the top of the meta in Regulation C, Qian Pao, Ting Lu, and Chi Yu were like the 3 best Pokemon in the game, or at least 3 of the best. But all of a sudden, if you look at this, you have 1 Dark type here, and you have 2 Pokemon, well, really probably just like 4 Pokemon that just fall to Expanding Force. Again, you die to Expanding Force, you die to Expanding Force. You kind of hard wall it, you also kind of hard wall it. You're like decent, but a lot of these mons here don't want to eat Expanding Forces, right, or Armor Cannons. So I do think it's going to rise up. I would not be surprised if we see the old Psy Spam core come back. I love you, Big Sarah Ledge, but I think you also fell off pretty hard. You're probably not niche, just bad. It'll probably get a little bit of play, but I don't think it's a very good mon. Toad School, I love you, but you're not that good. Honestly, you're probably just bad. Big Gambit, King Gambit, it's hard to say this mon's bad. Like, King Gambit is just always going to be good. It's super bulky, hits super damn hard. It has Sucker Punch, Iron Head, Kowtow Cleave, Assurance, like Low Kick, Terra Flying, Terra Blast. It's hard to say King Gambit will ever be a bad Pokemon. Big Clod, another one I love, but you're bad. And then finally, last but not least, Annihilate. I think Annihilate has fallen off just a little bit because, like, having Annihilate it's now in a really tough spot, right? Because before it loved either, you know, Terra Fire or Terra Water. And they're a little harder to want to go for right now, especially, you know, with like the Landorus's running around. Like, obviously Defiant's good into Lando, but I feel like there's so much spread damage right now that it's hard just to slap this next to a Mousehold and like win the game. Like, also this one's like pretty slow, and there's so much offensive pressure right now, man. Like, I think it's really hard for Annihilate to be like the beast it was before, but definitely still has a role. It can definitely sweep through games, especially if you have the right support around it. Like, if you get it behind screens, it can get up, you know, its Rage Fist stacks, maybe a bulk up or 2. This one can still definitely sweep through. And boys, with that, we've come to the end. That's a lot of damn Pokemon. I know I sped run a lot of that, but I did not want to sit here for like, you know, an hour, or sorry, like 2 hours talking about all these Pokemon, especially when, you know, at this point, we already know what a lot of these Pokemon do. It's more or less just kind of explaining how they fit into the current meta or sorry, the upcoming meta, I should say, because obviously Regulation D technically hasn't started, but, you know, your boy has played a lot of games in Regulation D, thanks to Pokemon Showdown and online tours. So, yeah, that's my list, guys. Let me know what you think of it down below. Obviously, you know, I think that people are going to disagree with some of my things. You know, people are going to probably say, hey, this mod's actually a lot better. You know, I'm sure there's someone who's going to tell me, hey, Annihilate's like S tier. I'm sure there's people who are going to probably tell me that some of my, you know, my very good Pokemon are bad. Like, there'll be someone who says Scott Spectrier is not that good. You know, Hisuian Arcanine not that good. But I believe in them. You know, these are Pokemon I believe in. I'm sure there's probably people who's going to say Scott Lando is also S tier. But I'm telling you guys right now, I think that is your top 6 usage mons at the top. Maybe like D-Knight is like the lowest usage out of these. You could almost like drop this to like the best of very good, but I think this mon's meta defining. I think you need to have a way to stop Sucker Punch, right? Like, Qianpao, sorry, E-Speed, because Qianpao doesn't need Sucker Punch to be broken, but D-Knight does need E-Speed. That's the big difference between them is like, again, Aqua Jet is still really good, but you don't need it to be like the best Pokemon in the game, where like this mon definitely needs its E-Speed. So because of that, it does have things that kind of make it, you know, not as easy to execute, but definitely in the right game, it can just absolutely break teams. But anyway, guys, I was gonna end the video. I didn't. I'm gonna end it now. If you could like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anyway, boys, I'll catch you to the next one. Peace.